So you are somebody who is a big believer of content and context. Okay, and you've done some fantastic campaigns. I saw the awards that you have won, for some of the work that you have done. So can you talk about the importance of content and context, and how have you been able to build marketing innovations in a industry like yours, where gaming, you may say that, yes, it doesn't have enough attention, but you seem to have built, not a Mao but a Dao, right? Clearly that's something which you're passionate about. So can you give me some examples of how you have brought content and context to build customer engagement?
Yeah, so I've been very lucky to have worked with brands, all of which have really, really high DAU, like incredibly high DAU brands, right? And like in 8 9 digit DAUs in general. So that is very special, I think, in my opinion. So what it also allows you to do is to work with content. So what it means, content is essentially what? Content is just narratives, content is story, right? Now, when you do that, something different gets triggered inside your fans, inside your users, right? So instead of like whenever you start watching anything, be it an ad or a film or a content or whatever it is, your first instinct as a consumer these days, because we live in this overtly consumeristic world, मेरे को कोई कुछ बेच रहा है. Someone is selling me something, right? What content does is that it relaxes you. It says, ki, no, no, hey guys, I'm not here to sell you something. For example, we've created many content around our top game called Battlegrounds Mobile India, which talks about friendships, right? I'm not here to ask you to download the game after you've seen that film, right? I'm just asking you to just watch this film, and guess what? People really love it. People really enjoy it. What it subconsciously does is that it endears people to your brand, right? This is something that I will definitely credit that gaming and a lot of social first brands did it first in India, and then people came. Like we're very used to seeing placements of brands in films. It's very obvious someone
Yeah.
sipping on a beverage that they know about, someone talking about driving a car, that a brand that we know about. But what I think gaming brands and a lot of social first brands did, they turned this into entertainment, and entertainment is not something Indians can ignore. They
Mm.
love watching content. Like if you are on a bus ride which is 1 hour and you know there's a great episode of BGMI which has come up, you will watch that episode
Mm.
because you were anyways going to watch something on YouTube, right? So that is extremely important, I think. The second part is context. So it's not really, it's an open secret right now that most folks in India are spending time, a large amount of time on Instagram and YouTube. Previously, this like 2 3 years back, I would have said like, hey, Gen Z is spending a lot of time on Instagram and YouTube. Nowadays, it's true even for my dad. By the way, my dad, whenever he's not watching OTT, he's doing something on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. But that's anecdotal evidence. We have actual evidence also where we see that majority in this country, the highest MAU products in this country are all social media led, right? So I can't get a guy or a girl to play my game all the time, right? So there's a limit to the amount of video games that you can play in a day. What do
Mm.
you do when you are out of it and you still want some entertainment, right? Apart from OTTs, which is different, you go to social media, right? And guess what? When you go to YouTube and Instagram, I am there. And you can't be there again, ask him to download the game. He's just played a game and you anyway so big, kitna hi you will get people to download and all of those things, right? So you say, hey, there's this nice feature that we made around, there's this nice feature film that we made, this is nice web series that we made, this is nice funny content we've made. So these are known as Instagram takeovers or YouTube takeovers, as buzzwords in general. But at the heart of it is that your storytelling is so beautiful that people watch your content, which is why the metrics that we have, that we follow here in Krafton currently in my current company, are very different from metrics that other marketers follow. For example, most marketers look at impressions,
Mm.
reach, etc. We look at weird things like average view duration. This kind
Yeah.
of metrics that we are looking at are AVDs, like average view durations. Then we look at number of shares and things like that. These are all geared towards your innate instinct, whether you are enjoying a content or not, right? So for us, views and impressions and reach are output metrics, which come if you are really good at AVD and shares and all that, right? This corroborates with what YouTube is also doing and Instagram also is doing. Like by the way, if you put something on YouTube which is very high AVD and high shares, it will get high amount of views because that's where YouTube gets its information that it's getting viral. So again, going back to my statistics and analytical T's, etc., like that, where we crack down some of all of these things down to the T, like back 3 years back in general and figure out this is going to be a strategy at least till 2026, 2027 for the next 4 5 years. So we figured out that if you don't have great content, then people at some point in time will leave your brand and then go towards a brand which is the more new and hip thing to do, especially if you're a gaming or an entertainment brand. Maybe it is not so relevant for other brands, but for us it definitely is. Secondly, if it is a game or a brand which has a lot of stories to be told, then tell those stories. No. And thirdly, if you are able to figure out that these are metrics which are helping you grow the brand, for example, AVDs and shares that I talked about, instead of impressions, reach, and views, which are output metrics, then you should focus on that, right? So these are some also in a way. I'm also telling you what my predictions are gonna be in the future, which are some things that we'll address later on. But I think that give it 4 5 years, I think everyone will start talking about shareability of content. How many shares have you gotten rather than views, because people have figured out that you can just get views through money, like you can just promote any music video and it gets you views in general. But are people really engaging with that video that you have put out? Are people really watching it for the entire 2 3 minutes or 6 7 minutes that you put it out for? Or people are just watching it for 2 seconds and you paid that 1 cent or 10 cent or whatever it is, and then people skip on? So that people are catching on to slowly but steadily, but that's where the future sort of lies.